And then the supersonic.
That's our next guest. He goes by the name of Stephen Gutowski. I'm pretty sure I butchered that after my producer made me try to say it correctly 8 times off air. But he's a writer for the Free Beacon, who gave himself a rather ambitious goal for this year's SHOT Show. What's going on, man? And tell me, how bad did I do on the last name?
I think you're closer than a lot of people.
Okay.
It's Gutowski.
Gutowski.
So,
Okay.
But it's not too far.
Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry for you because people call me Colion. So there you go. So tell us about this attempt to shoot every firearm at SHOT Show, which to me is exhausting just thinking about it because I know what that entails. So for people who don't, tell me about this.
Yeah, it was very exhausting. I think that's a fair assessment. But I mean, when you're shooting that many guns, it's worth it, really. It was fun. And it was all the latest guns, too. That's the other thing. It's all the industry's stuff they brought out to show off. So it was a lot of fun, I have to say. I probably underestimated how many guns are actually at range day at SHOT Show because there's something like 200 exhibitors there. Yeah. So it's probably, I'm not... After trying, I'm not sure that it's physically possible to shoot all those guns.
Yeah, like I said, Media Day for SHOT Show is essentially a carnival for guns. And the rides are basically, literally you go there and you have to stand in line. Did you find yourself having to stand in line or anything?
Yeah, with the goal, I tried to, strategically skip the ones that had long lines and come back to them later. So like Chris usually always has a pretty long line. Pretty much the whole time. And so I actually ended up being the very last person to shoot a Chris Vector at SHOT Show, which was worth the wait, I gotta say, because that's quite a gun, especially in full auto.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's weird. It's a weirder sensation because it doesn't recoil like normal guns do.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's like my favorite type of gun is definitely the full auto short barrel rifle, and so the Vector is very interesting because it sort of smooths out that shooting experience with a short barrel rifle. Yeah. So it takes off a little bit of the edge, which is good and bad at the same time because that's what makes shooting this gun so much fun.
I posted a video some time ago of me shooting full auto Vector in 9. It was so fast. It was just so fast. I didn't expect it to be that fast. Basically it was just one long string of cuss words after I shot it because it was that fast. Like I was like, this is insane. But you're right. Something about the design and the characteristics of the gun, it takes a lot of the edge off of shooting a gun that shoots that fast in such a short package. Was there anything else that stood out to you?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that stood out. There's certainly when you're shooting 100 guns in 8 hours, you start to see trends in the industry. One thing that was big, I thought, was 10 millimeter. It was very popular. I probably shot 5 or 6 of those guns, and I'd never shot one before. So I think that's probably going to be something that you see more of. So it was interesting. And then like 6-inch barrels, like long extended barrels on semi-auto handguns was really popular too.
I'm noticing a trend of people actually carrying bigger guns like that. Like people who are more consistently carrying 34s and 35s. And here I am running 43s. I was talking to a young lady not too long ago. She can still carry the 17. And that made me feel horrible because, she can carry 17. Clearly, I can because I'm not a misogynist at all. But it's definitely a trend where it's weird. It's like they're two opposite ends of the spectrum. Like guns are getting really small, and then they're also getting bigger. At the same time, it's like it's either subcompact or full size duty weapon. I think the day and age of the kind of just the compacts like the 19s and the 226s and things of that world are. I'm not saying going the way of the dodo bird, but they're definitely not a major focus. So what were some of the negative aspects that you noticed about trying to shoot all of the guns at SHOT Show Media Day?
The first thing, and I realized this as soon as I walked in, was that I really should have brought my own hearing protection.
Dude.
Because all they had available there was, they just had the foam, the foam standbys, which really, when you're, especially in the long range, when you're shooting a bunch of .308 and .338 Lapua, you probably should have some more hearing protection. So the next day, I had a bit of a headache.
Yeah.
From the experience.
I can imagine.
It was worth it.
Look, I did the same thing you did, so don't feel too bad. The sad thing is, I was there with one of my producers, who's not the biggest gun guy on the planet, and he had the sense of mind to actually bring his own hearing protection. Yet I, Mr. Gun Enthusiast, completely forgot mine, and then I had to use the same 3M foamies in the ear that you did.
Yep.
And yeah, those suck. I'm sorry, 3M, but they do.
I mean, I'm not deaf, so they work. But,
well, there's also that, and I'm saying I would assume shooting over 100 guns in 8 hours, if you walked away still being able to hear, I'm pretty sure they were effective enough.
Right. So it worked. I just felt a little bit, worn out, and then the next day I had a bit of a headache. But lovely Bearing Arms Jen Jocks, she gave me some. So she had a little mommy pack of like Eric headache medicine, and so it was fine.
That sounds like her. That sounds like her. Right? She was feeding you medicine. She was feeding me alcohol. I'm dead serious.
Yeah, she's great. So she helped me out, and then I was all right. I was good enough to go and manufacture an AR lower with the defense distributor guys at the Penthouse in Vegas. So
wow.
it wasn't doing too bad afterwards.
Yeah, no, not at all, man. Okay, I'm a little jealous now. I mean, I want to take on that task of trying to shoot all the guns and try and get next. I'm just not that ambitious. I just don't see that happening because I mean it's massive, man. Like that's a lot of. So did you kind of like go into it like you kind of conjured up in your mind how many guns would be there, not really knowing? And then when you got there, it was like, yeah, I definitely just kind of, walked myself into something I can't walk out of. Yeah,
well, I just went in determined. I was like, all right, I gotta try and shoot every gun. I want to do something interesting while I'm here.
Yeah.
There's so many cool guns. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to shoot them all. Yeah. So I just walked in right away. The first booth was the Glock booth. Walked in, said, "Let me, what guns can I shoot?" And they said, "Oh, here." And I just kept asking for more guns to shoot, and they let me shoot them all. So and then I went to the next booth.
But you shot more than one Glock,
and then Rock Island Armory, and then on and on and on and on until it closed. I was literally the last person at the Chris booth. They like right at 4:15. They're like, "Okay, no one can touch any more guns," and that's when I had to stop.
You know what's funny? I think we. I'm not going to say you. I'll speak for myself. I tend to take media day for granted because there are tons of people who can't. They're not media. They can't get into media day at SHOT, and they would kill to be there. And then here my little loomty doomty behind comes in, and I'm complaining. It's kind of windy. It's so cold down here. I can't feel my feet. But just hearing you talk about you undertaking this task of going out and shooting all these guns, it just kind of reaffirmed that in my mind. It's just like. A lot of it is really mentality because even though you took on a task that was pretty excessive, you had a damn good time doing it. So I think that's pretty cool. I think it's something that I think more people should try to do that. But then again, I'll watch from afar. It's just a lot, man.
Experience.
You know what it is?
That's for sure.
I have an aversion.
This is my first range day, so I was like...
No. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. It's like I'm feeding off of the energy, but at the same time, like, I have this aversion to lines, right? Like, I tell people all the time, like, people ask me to go to carnivals or, like, trying to go to, like, theme parks and stuff, and I lie, and I say, no, I'm just scared of roller coasters. And really what it is, I just don't like standing in lines. I really don't like standing in lines. There's something wrong. I need to see a doctor about that or something. But, yeah, I get to the pearly gates and just walk away because there's too many people in line.
I don't know. That might be a line worth waiting in.
Yeah. I know. I'm gonna go home and pray when I get done with this because that came out so wrong. But no, man. Thanks a lot, Stephen, man, and keep pumping out those great stories on the free beacon. Look. Come back and let us know next year when you go out there and you try to conquer this again. I have faith in you, man. I think you can actually do it.
One of these years, I'll do it.
You got to, man. All of them. Yeah, I bet you gave me $1 million, you'd do it too. But no, man, really appreciate it, man. You have a good one.
Hey, thank you.
Absolutely. Coming up next, we're going to gear up with CAA, so stay right there. For some reason, I thought that.